The News Days continues here on One News Now. I'm Riza Diaz. Investigations are underway after a Philippine Air Force helicopter crashed near Bukidnon's Barangay Bulona yesterday, killing all 7 people on board. To give us the latest, we have with us on the line Philippine Air Force spokesperson, Lieutenant Colonel Aris Galang. Lieutenant, good afternoon.
Yes, ma'am.
Colonel,
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Colonel, based on the investigation so far that has been conducted, do we already have a reason for the crash?
As of this moment, ma'am, we don't have the reason for the crash, ma'am, and still our investigation is ongoing.
Colonel, so far the reports are saying that all the passengers, 7 of them are dead. Do we have injuries?
Hello? Hello,
Yes,
ma'am?
Colonel. Have we identified all the
Yes, ma'am.
casualties? We have been receiving reports that all of the passengers on board are dead.
Yes, ma'am. We have the list of the names for now, and I think we'll be providing the names after informing all of the families of those involved during the mishap.
Colonel, what were the conditions of the helicopter prior to the crash?
So now the helicopter is well maintained, including all of our air assets. Our assets are well prepared, underwent or undergo strict and regular maintenance inspections before each and every flight mission. So our aircraft are prepared during the mission, before and after the mission. It so happened during the investigation, we have to consider every factors, like, for example, the environment, the material factors, and at the same time, the human factors, ma'am.
Colonel, again, based on the investigation that you have done so far, are we still looking for people perhaps that are missing or were injured in the crash?
Based on the report, we have only 4 aircrew members during the flight and 3 passengers on board.
Okay. Sir, what are the next steps after this for the Air Force regarding this matter?
After this month, of course, we will be conducting the investigation, and all of the UH-1s will be grounded. We'll be having a CASA safety procedure and standard operating procedure. We'll be conducting also a maintenance check and all maintenance inspection to all UH-1 each type of aircraft. And then, of course, the Philippine Air Force will also providing the necessary assistance and financial aid to the family members of those who were involved during those who were killed during the mishap. And the Philippine Air Force will be giving the appropriate honors to them.
Colonel, you mentioned the grounding of the entire Air Force fleet. Is that correct? And if yes, until when?
Be grounded.
Colonel?
Hello, ma'am. Only the helicopters, ma'am, the UH-1H helicopters.
Okay. Sir, until when do we expect them to be grounded?
Okay, ma'am. Pending investigation, ma'am.
Okay.
Or upon completion of the maintenance inspection
All right.
for UH-1H type of aircraft.
Thank you very much for those information. Maraming salamat, Lieutenant Colonel. That was Philippine Air Force spokesperson Aris Galang. Meanwhile, the Bureau of Customs confiscated 1.5 million pesos worth of medicines in a raid of a storage facility in Pasay City. According to the Bureau, the facility was being used as an authorized COVID-19 clinic. Various Chinese medicines were seized during the raid. Now, this prompted the Bureau to warn the public not to use medicines without the appropriate clearances from the DOH and the FDA. They also reminded those with COVID-19 symptoms to only seek help from accredited medical instructions. Now, here's a rundown of the latest developments on COVID-19. 2 government officials and 42 policemen are among the new recorded cases of COVID-19. Cagayan Vice Governor Melvin Vargas and Bontoc Mayor Franklin Odsey confirmed that they have tested positive for the coronavirus. They urge those who had interactions with them to observe proper quarantine procedures and to contact the health department. Before testing positive for the virus, Vice Governor Vargas distributed relief goods for flood victims in the cities of Amulong, Gataran, and Enrile in the past week. PNP also recorded 42 new cases of COVID-19 yesterday. Now, the total number of infected personnel has now reached 9,464. The 29-year-old man from Barangay Kamuning in Quezon City who was infected with the new variant of COVID-19 is now asymptomatic. But Quezon City Mayor Joy Belmonte clarified that the patient is still confined in a quarantine facility and not in a hospital. She added that the latest prognosis on the patient proves that while the UK variant of COVID-19 is more contagious, its effect is not as severe as the original strain. The country's case tally may break 500,000 cases today if the trend of more than 2,000 new infections continues for the third straight day. Health experts say this is still due to the recent holiday season. On the other hand, we are also expecting the DOH to report its latest batch of mass recoveries later today. And we'll be back with more stories after the break. Keep it here on One News. You're still watching One News Now. I'm Riza Diaz. Senator Sonny Angara is expecting the faster resolution of pending court cases, with Congress allocating funds for the appointment of so-called judges at large. Senator Angara, chairman of the Senate Committee on Finance, says Congress has allocated about 245 million pesos for the implementation of the Judges at Large Act. The measure mandates the creation of posts for judges at large. Now, these are MTC and RTC judges with no permanent sala. Instead, they may be appointed by the Supreme Court as assisting judges to decongest court dockets. A 50 million peso augmentation is also included in the budget for the deployment of judiciary marshals to secure court officials. This was induced by appeals from the judiciary amid threats and attacks against judges and court officials in the country. Meanwhile, here are other stories from around the world. COVID-19 cases in Los Angeles County has topped 1 million. LA County now has the highest record infection rate and death toll in the United States. In the past week, Dodger Stadium was transformed into a mass vaccination center to inoculate up to 12,000 people per day. It was previously used as a COVID testing site. In addition to this, 5 more large-scale vaccination sites are set to open in the area, including the Six Flags amusement park. Now, each site is expected to accommodate up to 4,000 people a day. And still in the United States, AIRBNB says it will cancel and block all reservations in the Washington D.C. area during the inauguration week. The platform is acting on emerging reports of possible attacks by armed militias and hate groups that may be attempting to travel to the Capitol to disrupt the inauguration. AIRBNB has also banned the accounts of users with confirmed involvement in last week's Capitol siege. AIRBNB said it will refund guests whose reservations were canceled and reimburse hosts for the money they would have earned from the canceled reservations. Meanwhile, the Siberian city of Norilsk is now home to the Arctic's first crypto farm for producing new bitcoins. BitCluster's co-founders say Norilsk Bitcoin mine is already gaining the interest of Bitcoin players from across the globe. The company also claims that next to metal mining, their Bitcoin mining operation will be the region's second largest power consumer. And those are the top stories of the hour. Join us again later today as we continue to monitor the day's biggest stories. You can also catch One News on Signal Play app. Register for a free account now at www.signalplay.com and stream One News live anytime, anywhere. I'm Riza Diaz. We are One News.